live. Okay, guys, welcome to Dinner with Chuck. Here I have a seared glizzy. I'm going to try and take a bite of it.
Damn, boy.
All right, bro. Very good, though.
Yeah.
Chef James.
My dad. Wouldn't it be
Pretty good.
James now that he's a chef?
Do I even need to dive into that comment? Probably not. What are we talking about, Seth? Why are we having this show? Why is Chase even on camera?
Oh, there was a big old dirt car event at Volusia Speedway in Florida. There were sprint cars. There were late models. I think there were
There were
big
modifieds
blocks.
too, if anybody gives a shit.
Yeah, I certainly don't. Apologies to everyone who is a modifieds fan. I just am not. And I'm very sorry for that. Except that I'm not. So anyway, Chuck, how you doing? You were down there for a night of late model
I was down there for
competition.
the last night.
Last night, yes.
You know, if only the night before wasn't on Valentine's Day, I would have seen a better race. But you know,
If Chuck
some people
never
don't want to
mind.
go to racetracks on Valentine's Day. What
Those
about
people are called. Never mind.
Yeah, let's not do
I'm
that.
not gonna say that.
I don't know where we're going with that, but let's not. It was solid. It was definitely the best racing that happened within a 30-mile radius over the course of the past 2 weeks. I know there was some racing down at New Smyrna that was pretty solid. I think there's another racetrack that they might have raced at in the area. I really cannot think of the name of it. All I know is that
Probably wasn't very
big.
good.
It's big and it sucked. And we don't have time to try and dig for any other details. But yeah, Volusia was cool.
Yeah.
My first time there. Dude, that place is fast. Holy shit. So we've been to Charlotte. We're going to go on one of our little rant sessions here. We've been to Charlotte. And Seth, I don't know about you, but Charlotte looks pretty fast when you're sitting there in the seats. It's like, even for late models, it looks relatively fast.
Yeah, especially when they overdo the fucking bottom lane and they just never
They
mind.
just rip around the bottom. Yeah.
God, don't get me started, Chuck.
No, this is what I always say. Like, Charlotte's the worst meter for somebody to judge late models ever. Because they do that every year and they just rip around the bottom. Volusia, holy shit. You want to talk about hauling the mail?
Yeah.
They make them look like they're standing still at Charlotte. I got up in there in the stands just in time for the first 3 cars I saw go out in qualifying. We walked up in the middle of qualifying. Great seats, by the way. The seats there, fantastic. We had reserved seats. We wanted to make sure we got some good ones right by the start finish line. Not
Nice.
overly expensive or anything. Great view. Can see the whole track from just about the whole place, really. The first 3 cars to go out are Bobby Pierce, Devin Moran, and Jonathan Davenport.
Oh, boy.
And they were hauling ass, dude. They went off into turn 1, didn't lift. Like, they might have cracked the throttle. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
They're booking it. The only part that I took issue with out of the whole place, the whole night, is their bathrooms are terrible.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And when I say terrible, I mean, I'm not like a big dude. Seth likes to call me fat, but I'm really not a big human being. There are much bigger people than me at a racetrack. No offense if you are bigger than me. But I've seen,
And by a lot, he means a lot. There's
I've
some
seen
units.
I've seen some folks, okay?
Yeah.
This bathroom stall,
Oh, God. How small is this thing?
I'm talking like the end of the toilet and the door, there is probably 6 inches in between.
Theoretically, how the fuck are you supposed to sit on that? With, like, spread?
There's a different channel for that description. Not this one.
You got it? Oh, do you watch South Park?
A little bit.
Okay.
As I eat a glizzy.
You got to do the old Butters sitting on it in reverse so you could put your chocolate milk and your comic.
Holy shit. I still don't know if that would have worked.
Maybe
Because there
not.
was also like dude, I swear I was in like a I'm trying to think of measurements here.
Was this like a fucking 3x3 spot or something?
It was dead ass like a 4x4 box. It's fucking terrible. And I wasn't. Yeah, no. We don't need to go any farther in terms of that.
I'm fucking just imagining Big Ed eating too many glizzies and running in there like, oh shit.
Dude, no. There were some people at that racetrack that were bigger than the size of that basketball. What they were supposed to do in that situation, I do not know. But
we have gotten so far off the rails already.
What were we supposed to be talking about? Race cars?
Race cars.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So before the night I was there was 5 other nights of late model racing and a whole bunch of sprint car racing. Seth paid a little more attention to sprint car stuff than I did, so we'll let him take the reins for now.
Yes. Okay. So night 1, your winner was Carson Macedo. It's been a minute since I watched that one. It was pretty good from what I remember. But it's been a minute. Night 2, Christopher Bell won, barely over Kyle Larson. This one was awesome. This was a great race. And well, we'll get more into like more in depth about the actual racing when we get through this. And then Larson won nights 3 and 4 and took home, what do they call it? The Big Gator? Is that what they call it? Yeah. Well, took home the Big Gator for the sprint cars. Obviously 2 wins in a second. And I think he was top 5 maybe for the night 1. I can't remember exactly.
I believe he was on the podium. Don't hold me to that.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was third.
Sounds about right. So yeah, really good performance from Kyle. And they had been, we can hear your chewing in the thing because your mic is on your hat or on your thing.
I'm sorry. You can tone me down a little bit.
No, I just thought it was funny. But what was I talking about?
ASMR. No, you were talking about Kyle, I believe at Volusia.
Yes. Okay. So Kyle, he had never won at Volusia previously. And like he said, they usually start out pretty slow, and they do. But they came out swinging this weekend. So
he was well, that was the first time he had gone quick time in
a while, right?
Qualifying since I almost want to say 2020.
Has it been that long?
I think it has been. They made a post about it. I glanced at it.
Wow.
I seriously want to say that it might have been the Ironman in 2020.
Wow.
They set
the track record that day, didn't they? With like a 9.9 or whatever the hell it was.
It was like a 9.9 or something. That was August of 2020.
Yep.
I believe that's right. Don't hold me to it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, they went quick time. And
I noticed, so they were qualifying with a different wing than they were racing, which is that common in sprint car racing? I'd never seen it before.
Not that I know of, and I've seen a lot of people talk about that because it was silver.
Yeah.
It wasn't their normal like black and white wing. It was silver instead of white. So unpainted. And it just makes you wonder, because, last summer, Paul Silva had the turned up headers.
Yeah.
Coming out the exhaust.
That he got from dumpster diving, right?
Yeah. And, or like turned up exhaust, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it came out of the side of the car. Instead of the pipes going straight back, they curved up.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Got a funny text. Basically, World Racing Group made a Paul Silva rule, essentially, not called the Paul Silva rule, but they specifically banned that thing that he came up with.
Well, as far as I know, he didn't even come up with it. He just like repurposed it. From my understanding.
I'm pretty sure the exhaust he did.
Did he? Oh, okay.
They were repurposing tires and like other stuff.
No, I mean,
I think that was a him thing.
When I remember watching Dirt Tracker Daily or something right around the time they were doing that. And he was saying, I think he was saying that other teams had done this, I mean, like decades ago. And then Paul just brought it back.
Oh, then yeah. They made a rule against it. So now it's got people wondering, like, what kind of shit is Paul Silva up to now? Like, has he figured something else out just to get back at WRG? for them being petty. And it's entirely possible because Kyle's normally not that fast. Anywhere in qualifying, much less at a half mile.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the stat was, by the way, is his first. I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out.
It's been a minute. He's normally not good at qualifying on half miles at all.
They're usually hit or miss on half miles, period, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll struggle a lot.
Yeah.
I know they've struggled before at Lakeside with high
I know
limit.
they missed the Kings Royal last year.
Yeah, they did. They missed the Kings Royal completely.
And then won the Knoxville Nationals. Make that make sense, but
nobody can.
No.
Christopher Bell, too. His return to sprint car racing.
The Bell thing was interesting because I guess I missed the announcement that he was going to be in that 69K. And so when I'm watching it, I was confused but happy. Like I'm always excited to see Christopher Bell in a sprint car because he's really good. So, and then obviously to watch them to put on that type of finish at the end of it was
after Emerson
awesome.
Axel threw the race.
Yeah, he did do that.
I'm sure there's an answer out there. I just haven't listened to it. I would love to know what happened there. Like, did he just step on himself?
Didn't he just jump the cushion? I can't remember.
He was running the bottom.
Yeah,
he was running the bottom and just spun off a floor.
It's been a long week.
It was
I'm on a caffeine cleanse.
Thing.
Oh wait, no, this was 3 weeks ago now, or 2 weeks ago too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Behind, guys.
I'm also on a caffeine cleanse, so I've had a weird week. But
so I just want to give a quick shout out to the World of Outlaws for their highlight reels on YouTube absolutely sucking, because it'll be a 5-minute video and it's like 2 minutes of racing.
That's
3
a real
minutes highlight video.
Yeah.
And then 3 minutes of the post-race interview. Like, give me the best soundbite from the post-race interview and show me what happened during the race. But anyway, I watched all those. And from what I saw, the track looked really racy on really all 3 nights until the last one. And then it looked, again, from what I was looking at, the minute and a half that they showed me, that the track got really shiny and slick on the last night.
It rubbered in
but it
big
slowed
time.
down a lot.
Yeah.
At least that's what it looked like. I was like, whoa, this is totally different, because they're creeping around the bottom. They look like late models.
Yeah.
So,
that was the only night it was like that. Why it was like that, I'm no dirtologist, so I'm not really sure. But it wasn't as good. But as a whole, for the 4 nights, I thought it was really good. I mean, Volusia's a great track. I think there were maybe a few times, maybe the first 2 nights, it may have been like a little bit too fast, maybe almost.
Oh.
Just for racing quality, I think. Well, okay, maybe just the first night. Nights 2 and 3 were like perfect, I think, maybe. I'd have to go back and check it exactly. But I mean, either way, it's like you get into traffic and it's going to be a close race just because you have to navigate traffic. And that's basically what we got all 4 nights. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing about starting the year Volusia that some people hate is that they go out there and it's just like, I saw somebody say, which their comment didn't entirely make sense, because I can't remember the last time that the Outlaws started their season at East Bay. I don't think they ever have, actually.
I don't know.
But it was like, I miss East Bay. I wish we didn't have to go to Volusia to start the year in a full-on dyno session. Which is true. I remember, I think it was last year that Macedo went down there and blew up like every single night. So there is that one little part of starting the year of Volusia that sucks. because you are just like, I mean, I would assume they're just burning up a motor
Yeah.
in 4 nights because that place is so it's really tougher than anywhere else that they go because it's so big and fast. Like even Knoxville isn't like that. Like there's finesse at Knoxville. They're just
ripping.
Yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, I enjoy it. I enjoy looking back on it and watching it. I hate that I don't have more time to like go and see it or watch it live.
Yeah.
But they're always going to put on a good show there.
Yep.
As do late models, by the way.
Yes.
Sometimes they do.
Well, it's like with everything, you're going to have some stinkers, but most of the time it's pretty good.
Yeah. So we had, let's see, let me do math here. 6 nights of late model racing at Volusia. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I don't entirely know how the big gator points work. I know it's a combination of the Dirtcar nights, which are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just the Dirtcar sanctioned late models, which is goofy because the World of Outlaws are under, I guess they're not under Dirtcar, but they're all under World Racing Group. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is Dirtcar. Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the Outlaws. So Monday was 25 laps. Nick Hoffman won over RTJ, Jonathan Davenport, Max Blair, and Ryan Gustin. It was really weird because Volusia got super, super dusty and one lane pretty much. They were just kind of glued to the bottom. And people were complaining like, oh, late models are so aero dependent. Well, when you prep a racetrack where they can only run one line, every race car is going to be aero dependent. Your grandma's Prius will be behind another one if you're trying to race it. It's just how aerodynamics work. But Tuesday was a lot better, 25 laps again. Tyler Erb led most of it, but Ricky Thornton got him. Then Pierce was second, Turbo third, Davenport fourth, Brandon Overton fifth. Wednesday, don't ask me why. Again, I didn't pay much attention to the Dirtcar part, but they ran 3 20-lap features. RTJ won the first one, Davenport won the second one, and Overton won the third. They were split into 3 groups. Like it wasn't this like the whole field 3 times.
Yeah.
Then we got into the good stuff on Thursday. 35 laps, and the track was fantastic. They were throwing sliders all night. Moran came from 8th, I think. I might have these flipped. Sorry, Moran won on Friday. Albertson kicked everybody's ass on Thursday. But Ricky Thornton and Bobby Pierce were throwing haymakers at each other for 10 laps for second. Like if you take Garrett Albertson away, that's like race of the year. And they were racing for second. Eventually, Ricky put it in the fence in turn 4. Moran caught Bobby, slid in. Bobby got him back on the last lap. But I mean, they were going into 3, and Albertson was taking the checkered flag. It was an ass whooping. Yeah. So good for Garrett. Pierce second, Moran third. I've got my notes here to the right. Ethan Dotson was 4th, and RTJ was still 5th. Friday night is when Moran went, I believe, 8th to 1st, won his 5th World of Outlaws race of 14 total in his career at Volusia.
Damn.
14 career wins in the Outlaws, 5 of them at Volusia, so he's got the place figured out. He, like I said, charged from the back. And again, track was absolutely perfect. Davenport was 2nd, RTJ 3rd, Albertson 4th, Ryan Gust 5th. Bobby Pierce was up front early, and then he jumped the cushion by himself, smacked the wall, and then got smacked by Brandon Shepard. So that kind of ended his lap. And then Saturday, I was there, and the whole time, the big blocks were there, but nobody wrecked themselves and flipped like last year, so it wasn't as fun. We can keep throwing that clip up as long as it's on, in the, I guess,
on the internet.
On the internet, that's the word I'm looking for.
It's such a good
fantastic
clip. It's so good.
So good.
So good.
It's honestly, to this day, the funniest shit I've ever seen anybody do with a race car.
It's so bad. Like, it's terrible. But
I think I'm going to have Seth put it up.
I will write it down to put it in.
Please put this in the show.
And clip.
Larry White flip at
Larry
Volusia.
White. All right, good. Got it. It will be in
Yep.
there. I swear
Good.
on my
Good.
dead cat that I never had. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. That, I mean, everyone says it's everything. You know, people say shit looks like a train wreck. Like, it's so bad, but I can't look away. No, this is literally
A train.
we're gonna have to stop. The phrase can't be train wreck anymore. It's literally like Larry White wrecking himself and flipping at Volusia. I can't look away.
Oh, can't, dude. Oh gosh, that will never get old. We're gonna be like 10 years from now. We're gonna be looking back at that. But anyway,
We're gonna be on like porches talking about the weather and be like, you remember when Larry White
Larry
flipped
White.
it? Fucking Volusia,
Volusia?
fucking idiot.
Yeah. He was running up front too, and then Eric Rudolph like put half a lap on the field. That old
Damn.
Larry, he in like half the race too. He got to the lead on like lap 25.
Golly.
All
right.
The late model race.
Yes.
All the heavy hitters that you'd want. Overton, Pierce, Moran, RTJ, Hoffman. They were all at the front. Drake Troutman actually started on pole. And at first, the track looked really good. So they ran 50 laps on Saturday, which is the most they've run all weekend. I don't know if they just like over adjusted how they prepped the track because of the extra 15 laps that they were going to run. But by lap 15, they were glued to the bottom. 20 at most, glued to the bottom.
Yeah.
And the top was completely useless. I don't know why. Like, I'm not a track prep guy. I'd love for somebody that preps the racetrack to tell me why it varies so much from night to night. The best example I've ever seen is Knoxville last year. They did a fantastic job because the track was basically the same all 4 nights.
Yeah.
For it to be as dusty as it was on Monday, pretty good on Tuesday, great on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday wasn't dusty, but they were just absolutely glued to the bottom for no reason.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. There was one thing that saved this race. A guy by the name of Superman, Jonathan Davenport. Seth will tell you, we've seen it before at Charlotte. Every once in a while, when the track just rubbers down and everybody moves to the bottom, he'll just rip the fence. And it works. And it makes no sense at all. Because you'll watch guys that are arguably just as good. Bobby Pierce, Devin Moran, Brandon Overton, you name it.
Yeah.
Ricky Thornton, trying to do the same thing. And they're actively losing spots, like wholesale spots in the racetrack. And he is just ripping the fence. So he started 12th. And it's hard to pass a Volusia on any given night, much less a night like we had. And forever, he was stuck behind, I think it was Gustin. And I cannot remember who else it was, but he was stuck back there in like 9th. Finally, he clears them. And in like 2 laps, he's going to the outside of Pierce for second. And he was like blowing by them. It was like, holy shit, where did he come from? And then he jumps down there on the bottom. Because Bobby tries to go up to the top and they couldn't get off turn 2. It was so slick. Couldn't get off turn 2 on the top.
Yeah.
And now they're just all running the bottom. I'm like, how the hell did he do that? Well, then he finally sees Drake Troutman. There's 2 lap cars in between them. And I've got a great video, and Seth can put it up on the screen, where it's a great visual because the entire field, all the way around the racetrack, is running the bottom. And you just see this one car send it to the boards in 3 and 4 and start passing cars. And it's Davenport. And he did it all the way up next to Drake Troutman. So then what he was doing was he would get behind Drake in 1 and 2. And then they get down to 3 and he would just rip the fence. Well, eventually he got alongside him. But he could never get like enough alongside him to like pinch him off. So he'd just get back in line and do the same thing. And he did it for probably 10 laps off and on. And it was like, how in the hell? And finally he's got a run on and the yellow comes out. We're like, oh, damn, that was it. Surely Drake's going to have clean air. They're going to line up. He's The top's gone. The top's burnt off. We're 12 laps to go. They restart. He sends it off down in turn 3, rips the fence. They come off 4 side by side. And we're all like, what? He goes down into turn 1 and does it again. And they went 3 laps, I think. And a couple guys behind him try it, and they just go straight backwards. And he is just running the top, running his own line. Nobody else could do it.
Yeah.
Hanging with him. And finally, he pinches him off into 1, clears him, and drives away. It's like, damn, how in the hell did he do that? I will never understand, as many times as I watch him do it, how the hell he does that shit. Because the very next lap, Brandon Overton, running third, tried to do the same thing. He about lost it on the cushion, looked like he was dead stopped in the middle of the racetrack and lost 2 spots. What's the difference? I don't know what kind of...
They call him Superman.
Did you watch the highlight video?
Yes.
I don't understand it.
I watched it. Doesn't mean I understand it. No.
It
be clear about that.
Mind. And he said it. He said it would have taken something stupid, like running the fence for however many laps he did it to win that race. And that's exactly what he did. It was stupid, but it worked. And I enjoy seeing guys in their respective, I guess, field or discipline of motorsports.
Yeah.
That sometimes just prove why they are the best at what they do. It's really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Larson in Indianapolis last year. Or this, for example. It's really, really, really enjoyable to watch when you have this group of people who are, without a doubt, the best in the world at what they do. And then one of them finds a way to stand out above everybody else. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I agree.
So that's about all I have on it. I think Volusia is a great racetrack for late models. I wish we would see more consistency with the track prep.
Yeah. Is it also one of those things where kind of like with Charlotte, obviously, like we found a perfect medium on night 2 at Charlotte. And then by the time we got to night 3, it was totally fucked. Like, is it kind of like that too? Because you have to redo the track a bunch of times, and eventually you've kind of wore the dirt out. Maybe, or there's rubber in the dirt. So even when you fix, I don't know. I'm throwing stuff at a wall here, but maybe there's rubber in the dirt, and then you till it obviously, but there's still it's still there, and then you put more moisture on it. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
It does. The reason I have a hard time committing to saying yes to that is because I've watched 2 examples of both the Chili Bowl for 6 nights in a row and Knoxville for 4, where the track was, I don't want to say the same, but it was pretty close to it every day.
Yeah.
And it was good every day. We didn't have, you had you're always going to have some variance. It's a dirt track. Yeah. You're never going to have the exact same track twice in a row. Or ever, really.
Yeah.
But it was pretty close. It was comparable each night. And from what I understand, what I've seen, and what I know that they do, they completely tear up the track before each night and will work it back in. At least that's what they did in Tulsa every day. It's what they did in Knoxville every day. I would assume they're doing the same things in Volusia and Charlotte. I just think they overreact, because Charlotte's the same way. We do 35 laps the first 2 nights, and then we do 50 the last night.
Yeah.
I just think they overreact to having 15 more laps. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Because
that would make sense.
It was 3 years ago that we watched Davenport do this exact thing at Charlotte.
Yeah.
It was a 50 lapper. Everybody was on the bottom, and he was running the top.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I think if that is the case, they've got to find a way. I mean, there's some really smart people doing this. They've got to find a way to get around it.
Yeah.
Because it sucks because that's like
is this a
that
problem when
night
they do is this a problem when they do like 100-lap late model features? Or is it less of an issue because the race is so long that it doesn't really matter?
I think it depends on the track. Like, Fairbury's never that way. I don't think it's possible to ruin Fairbury. When they run the USA Nationals at Cedar Lake, I don't think the track ever gets bad. It just changes a lot. Like, they'll go from the top to the bottom when they have to save their tires a lot. I will say, when they run at Batesville, when they run the topless 100 at Batesville, it always gets really bad there. To where they can only, from what I remember, they'll get to the point where they're only running the top and blowing tires. Because the bottom gets so slick in 100 laps. I don't know. I feel like also on 100 laps, it becomes more about endurance too.
Yeah.
So
you're not ripping the whole time.
The track wearing out, even if it does wear out, isn't that big of an issue because the drivers are also trying to save their stuff, and there's more time for comers and goers in those final 25 laps to where the track can be what it is, and you're going to have the guys that fade. 50 laps is like a 30 lap feature to a sprint car.
Yeah.
Where the 35 lap features are like the 25 lap features for a sprint car. That's in my opinion, that's the comparison of how they race.
Yeah.
So,
well, interesting. Something we can keep an eye on. I don't know. We can't do anything about it, but
nope. We can do our research though and try and become a little bit smarter.
This is true.
Boring you guys with us giving baseless opinions.
This is true, but also like we're here for the baseless opinions, right?
Yeah, I'm just
in some way.
Look, my day job is on asphalt. I'm just here to have fun.
And my day job is not in racing at all. So
I guess technically mine isn't either. But.
Yeah, this is true. I don't have a racing day job, which is great. I can consider myself a free agent instead of unemployed. I'm unemployed. I'll put it that way. But also, I'm not looking for work, so I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Seth is an unaspiring motorsports journalist.
There we go. That's awesome. I love that. Unaspiring motorsports journalist. I'm going to use that.
He will give you his opinions, but he is not looking for a job.
No. I'm totally fine doing this for free at this point. I don't want to work for anybody either.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
It's hard enough working boss. It's hard enough working with people.
Yeah. Especially ones that can't do anything on certain days because Bizzle or whatever. I'm just making.
Oh. Okay. Sure. Guys, this means I'm fired and you're never going to see me again. Wait, I can't be fired because he doesn't have a job, which means he's not employed and he can't be my boss.
This is true.
So he can't stop me from showing up.
I could technically stop inviting you from showing up, but at the same time, what would I do just sitting here talking to the camera? It would be really awkward. Well,
I don't know. If you want to see what Seth does when he sits there and talks to a camera, you could check out Push the Pass.
Well, no, it's going to be a podcast with another person this year.
Oh, see, I missed the boat on that.
I told you this.
He definitely did.
Yeah, I definitely told Chuck this. And Chuck is obviously welcome to come on when occasionally, whatever he would like, I guess. But I'm going to guess that Chuck is busy and he won't be available very often.
I can try sometimes.
Yeah. we definitely need to get you on for the workout went so far off topic. We'll definitely get you on for the Indy 500 episode. Hell, we could do, well, depending on when we get out of Anderson, we can decide whether or not we're going to do a video on that. I think that'd be a fun video of the little
He's
500.
spoiling our plans and he needs to shut up. Is
Okay.
basically what I'm hearing.
Sorry. We're definitely not doing that. I'm sorry. Don't ignore that. Ignore that.
Ignore it.
But
Look,
okay,
if
so
you're still watching at this point,
yeah. If you are
hell
still
yeah.
watching, I want to tell you that we do plan on doing as much. My plan right now is to do as much dirt content, sprint cars and late models, as Chuck will allow us to do. That is essentially what I want to do at this point. That and then IndyCar content, and that's pretty much it. Unless we might do some car store content. Probably not. They're starting to irk me a little bit. But anyway, there's a whole other thing about that we don't have to get into. But anyway, do we have anything else for this so I can shut up?
nope.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Well, that's been everything. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave the angriest comment you can possibly, all caps, angriest
About
comment
Seth.
about me. Yeah, Chuck is an angel and didn't do anything wrong. Leave it about me
First time that's ever been said.
on this show. Anyway, bye, Gary.